Welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into a classic supernatural comedy with a dark twist. Beetlejuice. Released in 1988, this movie brings a quirky mix of haunting, horror, and humor. Directed by Tim Burton, Beetlejuice tells the story of a recently deceased couple trying to reclaim their home from an obnoxious family. Things take a wild turn when they enlist the help of a chaotic bioexorcist named Beetlejuice. Buckle up as we explore this fun, dark, and absolutely bizarre film. The story begins in a charming countryside house where we meet Barbara and Adam Maitland, a happily married couple enjoying their vacation. They live in a picturesque, quiet home, away from the hustle and bustle of city life. Everything seems perfect until Barbara's cousin, Jane, comes knocking at the door. Jane has an offer for their house, which Barbara quickly rejects, as they're not interested in selling. Jane presses on, suggesting the house is too big for just the two of them, especially since they have no children. This remark visibly affects Barbara, leaving her feeling a bit sad about their childless life. But Adam tries to lift her spirits, joking that maybe they should try starting a family during their vacation. Although Barbara brushes the idea off, it's clear the thought lingers in her mind. Later that day, the couple sets off for a trip into town to buy some supplies. As they drive home, a dog suddenly jumps into the road, causing Barbara to swerve. The car veers off the road and plunges into the river. That's when things get strange. The next thing we see, Adam and Barbara are back at home, soaking wet. They sit by the fireplace, confused but unharmed, or so they think. While trying to warm up, Barbara notices something odd. Her fingers light up as if they're candles. Stranger still, it doesn't hurt her. Adam, puzzled by what's happening, decides to retrace their steps, but when he steps outside, he's transported into a bizarre desert landscape filled with monstrous sandworms. Before one of the creatures can reach him, Barbara pulls him back into the house. Inside the house, the couple realizes something even more terrifying. They have no reflection. After further investigation, they find a mysterious book titled Handbook for the Recently Deceased. The chilling truth hits them. They didn't survive the car crash. Adam and Barbara are now ghosts, stuck in their own home. The next day, Barbara and Adam's home is sold and a new family arrives. The Dietzes, a quirky bunch, are now the new homeowners. Charles Dietz is a real estate developer who is excited about his new countryside home, while his eccentric wife, Delia, is less than impressed. Delia, an artist with wild taste, immediately sets about planning how to redecorate the entire house with the help of her strange and flamboyant friend, Otho. From the very beginning, Delia and Otho's plans to overhaul the house infuriate Barbara and Adam, who are horrified to see their beloved home turned upside down. However, despite their best efforts to scare the new residents away with classic ghost tricks like hanging themselves in closets and headless apparitions, the Dietzes don't even notice them. It seems their ghostly presence is invisible to everyone, except one person. Lydia Dietz, Charles's gothic teenage daughter from his previous marriage, is a different kind of girl. Unlike her parents, who are obsessed with their new life in the countryside, Lydia has a keen sense of the supernatural. When she looks up at the attic window one day, she catches a glimpse of Barbara and Adam. Although no one else believes her, Lydia knows the house is haunted, and she's fascinated by the idea of real ghosts living under the same roof. As the Dietzes continue their plans to transform the house, Lydia grows more curious about the spirits living in the attic. Meanwhile, Adam and Barbara are at a loss for how to deal with the situation. The Handbook for the Recently Deceased offers little help, as its instructions are confusing and overly technical. Frustrated and desperate for a way to reclaim their home, Adam stumbles upon an advertisement for Beetlejuice, a self-proclaimed bioexorcist who specializes in getting rid of the living. Although they're hesitant to summon him, Barbara and Adam begin to wonder if they might need his help. One evening, Lydia makes her way into the attic and finally meets Barbara and Adam. Far from being frightened, she's thrilled to encounter real ghosts and asks them all sorts of questions about what it's like to be dead. Lydia sympathizes with the Maitlands and agrees to keep their secret. She even offers to help them figure out how to get her parents out of the house. Barbara and Adam, though touched by Lydia's kindness, know they need to take more drastic measures if they want their home back. That's when they decide to summon Beetlejuice. They call his name 3 times, and after a bizarre series of events, they're transported into Adam's model of the town where Beetlejuice resides. They dig him up from his grave, and out pops Beetlejuice, an eccentric, wild, and somewhat sleazy ghost with a big personality. Although Beetlejuice promises to help them, it quickly becomes clear that his methods are more chaotic and dangerous than they'd imagined. He's crude, unpredictable, and a bit of a troublemaker. Barbara and Adam regret summoning him almost immediately, but Beetlejuice isn't so easy to get rid of. Determined to scare the Dietz family, Adam and Barbara come up with a plan to haunt their next dinner party. During the event, they possess Delia and the guests, making them perform a strange and hilarious dance to the Banana Boat song. At first, the party guests are stunned, but rather than fleeing in terror, they're delighted by the ghostly performance. Instead of being scared off, Charles and Delia now see an opportunity to profit from the ghosts, planning to turn the haunted house into a tourist attraction. Lydia, on the other hand, is disappointed that her parents are exploiting Barbara and Adam's ghostly abilities. As the Maitlands realize their haunting attempt has backfired, Beetlejuice seizes the moment to wreak havoc. He transforms into a monstrous snake, terrorizing the Dietz family before Barbara manages to stop him by calling his name 3 times. This is the last straw for Barbara and Adam. They realize they can't control Beetlejuice, and they're determined to find another way to rid their house of the Dietzes. Things come to a head when Otho, Delia's eccentric friend, discovers the handbook for the recently deceased and tries to perform a seance to summon Barbara and Adam. Instead of simply calling them, Otho accidentally starts exorcising them, causing their bodies to rapidly decay. Desperate to save them, Lydia makes a deal with Beetlejuice. In exchange for saving Barbara and Adam, she agrees to marry him. Beetlejuice gleefully accepts, and the chaos begins. He returns to full size, saves the Maitlands, and forces Lydia into a grotesque wedding ceremony. As the wedding starts, Barbara and Adam muster all their strength to stop it. In a final, thrilling showdown, Barbara rides a sandworm through the house, which devours Beetlejuice just as the wedding ceremony is about to conclude. With Beetlejuice gone, peace returns to the house. The Dietzes and the Maitlands come to an agreement, and the two families begin living together harmoniously. Lydia, now close with Barbara and Adam, thrives in her new life, even dancing in the air to celebrate her good grades at school. Meanwhile, Beetlejuice is stuck in the afterlife waiting room, where his antics get him into trouble yet again. As he waits for his turn, a witch doctor shrinks his head, leaving him to stew in his own mischief. And that's the wild, quirky ride that is Beetlejuice. A movie full of humor, heart, and some truly bizarre moments. It's no wonder this film became a cult classic. With its blend of haunting fun and dark comedy, Beetlejuice stands as one of Tim Burton's most beloved films. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know what movie you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for watching.